What's the most astonishing thing you've found out in this process?
The sheer amount of waste and fraud in the government. It is astonishing. It's mind-blowing. We routinely encounter wastes of $1 billion or more, casually.
We are going to be talking about this interview that was quite remarkable last night that Baier conducted with Elon Musk and his DOGE team. The level of detail that we saw from both Elon Musk and the principals that are working with him on DOGE was remarkable. Because what we've heard up until this point is a lot of anecdotes about singular projects or funding items that seemed a little off or wasteful or maybe even fraudulent to some. But they really got into the granular detail of what they're finding out about the way our government works or doesn't work for the American people. And I think that's important because the left has been going after the entire DOGE agenda since before the inauguration, when this was even mentioned or brought up or announced by President Trump that this would be a part of his presidency. And you've heard the talking points like they're gonna do away with Social Security or take away payments for Medicare, or maybe that they're gonna shutter the national parks, or they're gonna fire everyone, or they're going to break government. But when you hear what they're actually saying they are doing, you realize that's not the case at all. This was one of the more shocking line items of all the ones that we've heard. And this is bite 2 about some wasteful spending from the Department of the Interior. Let's roll it.
For you, what's the most astonishing thing you've found out in this process?
The sheer amount of waste and fraud in the government. It is astonishing. It's mind-blowing. We routinely encounter wastes of $1 billion or more, casually. For example, like the simple survey that was literally 10-question survey that you could do with SurveyMonkey, cost you about $10,000. The government was being charged almost $1 billion for that.
For just the survey?
$1 billion for a simple online survey. Do you like the national park? And then there appeared to be no feedback loop for what would be done with that survey. So the survey would just go into nothing. It was like insane.
The U.S. government was paying almost $1 billion for a customer service survey after you visited a national park. I'm sure many of you watching have probably received this survey, just saying simple things like, did you enjoy your experience? Would you visit again? And they were spending almost $1 billion of the taxpayers' money on that. And to make things worse, it was complete waste because no one was even looking at the results of the survey to maybe make the customer service experience better. It was just a wasted $1 billion. This interview with Elon Musk and the team at DOGE, which an interview with Elon Musk is not all that remarkable because he does a lot of them. But what we saw here was really the first time these key players that are working with him, the ones that really are doing the work, I'd say. He has kind of been the spokesman and the principal of it all, but really you're starting to hear from these individuals that are not low-level, entry-level computer engineers just out of university. These are many people that have run multiple companies that have done very well, that are very successful. And they are effectively becoming civil servants for a time to do this because they believe in the cause. And one thing you and I were talking about is that the messaging of this was so well done last night, and it should have been done earlier. But I think one of the biggest problems that DOGE has had is that they didn't really have a spokesperson that could combat the media narrative. Their spokesperson was Elon Musk. And when you already are the boogeyman, it's hard for you to be an effective communicator of the truth about what you're doing. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Well, number one, the interview that occurred last night should have occurred at least 6 weeks ago. That's number one. Number two, that particular interview exposed the DOGE team as a group of very experienced individuals. They have experience in banking, experience in engineering, manufacturing, computers. And they're not just 22-year-old whippersnappers who could care less about the consequences of their decision making. That interview showed that the DOGE team has engaged in a deliberate strategy of saving the American people money and saving very essential services for the American people, including Social Security. And one of the things that was stunning to listen to was the fact that 40% of the phone calls to the Social Security Administration, 40%, are essentially fraudulent. In other words, someone is trying to get into a legitimate Social Security recipient's bank account and steal the funds. Also, we have learned that 9-month-old kids are applying for small business loans and other government services. So we know that there is fraud, there is abuse. And so I think DOGE needs to do more of this, and they need to attempt to recruit a Democrat who is actually interested in achieving the objectives of Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. If you look at those two administrations, they talked about doing a lot of the things that Elon Musk and his team are doing today. So this approach, the DOGE approach, should have bipartisan support. And I know it's going to be really difficult in an age where individuals like Jasmine Crockett carry the banner for the Democratic Party, or AOC, or Bernie Sanders. These individuals are simply flamethrowers, but there are still sensible Democrats out there. They need to be enlisted into the DOGE effort.
To your point, Harry, I don't know that Barack Obama could get elected with this Democrat electorate now.
I think you're
he
precisely
would be too
correct.
Rational and reasonable for the Democrats of today, because he said many of these very things that he wanted to make government more efficient when he ran. Now, there are people like Ezra Klein, a commentator at New York Times, opinion editor, that says they broke all their promises. They promised efficiency and new things and never gave it to us.
We are so excited to announce the ACLJ's brand new app, completely redesigned to provide you with the best tools available to partner with us at the ACLJ. You can watch the daily Seculo program, sign the petitions, customize your ACLJ membership experience, donate with the click of a button, and receive up-to-the-minute critical updates that the mainstream media can't censor. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to your phone's app store, search ACLJ, and click install. It's that simple.